Somebody's changed a setting on this thing. I want to know who. Who's been in here messing with my settings? Anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome to Movie Groove. It's what's on screen. I'm Alister Lockhart, and sitting in the chair with me is Brad Duence. Say hello.
That's a nice pronunciation of my name.
Yeah, there you go.
Better than what I got at school, anyway.
I'm a professional. I did all my warm-up exercises and everything before the show.
I got Deuce, I got Duence once by a teacher.
Brad Duence?
Yeah.
It's Brad Duence here. Brad Duence.
That was it.
I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That is not my name.
No, I'm not.
Movie Groove.
Movie Groove. We're transmitting live from Sydney City and all around the world on Energy Groove Radio. As per usual, I'm going to beg you to hit us up on the Twitter feed. I know you won't. I know what you're like, you people. Just stay quiet. I don't want any feedback anyway. You're only going to be nasty to me. I know what you're like on the radio.
Reverse psychology.
Poor Charlotte Dawson. Anyway. I'm so sorry.
Too soon.
I went too dark too early. I'm really, really sorry. Anyway, as we always do, we like to start the show with entertainment movie news from all around the galaxy. This is episode 6, A New's Hope. Short but sweet. Don't sue, please, Lucasfilm. So this week in the news, Eddie Murphy's getting sued.
Great.
Yeah. Comedian Brando Murphy, who changed his name to Murphy, looks like Eddie Murphy, whose act is largely based on his uncanny impersonation of Eddie Murphy, starred as Eddie Murphy in a stage act called Sons of Comedy, and has shown up to Eddie Murphy's favourite coffee shop shouting, "My father won't talk to me," is suing Eddie Murphy for defamation, as Eddie is claiming the young comedian is copying him.
Oh, God.
Whatever could have given him that idea. That is just ridiculous, Ed. Come on.
That's an awkward situation right there.
Brando has defended himself by saying, "I didn't create me. The way I look is an act of God." For his part, God is now suing Brando for defamation, saying that he has nothing to do at all with Brando's look or his act, which is, as you might expect, mostly lame derivative shrieking about the correct usage of the N-word.
Defamatory in itself, isn't it?
It really is.
Mocking God's work like that.
I didn't do that. You did that on your own.
I'm not responsible for that. God.
Brando's lawyers are asking for $50 million for the perceived damage that the claims of mimicry have done to Brando's career. Eddie Murphy is, of course, the star who gave us Harlem Nights, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, and Norbit, so I don't know, $50 million may not be enough.
This guy's career clearly wasn't going anywhere near Eddie Murphy's, for starters.
You know what? The only reason we're talking about him right now is because he's getting sued.
That's right.
So it's done the boy a power of good, even if he doesn't get the money. This is going to work out great.
That's how they do it in Tinseltown, isn't
it? You go, Brando. I've seen his act.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, you know, if you didn't know, if somebody didn't say that's not Eddie Murphy, then you would think this must be an old clip of Eddie Murphy.
Right.
So, you know, there is some ground to his claims, I'm afraid.
So you can't distinguish the two, can
Well, a lot of his act
really?
is about being mistaken for Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, well.
And he yells, I don't like being mistaken for Eddie Murphy, exactly the way that Eddie Murphy would yell that exact line. So,
but Eddie Murphy's the butt of your jokes now.
Yeah,
like, so.
I know. It's getting all very meta. I don't know. Maybe he's a genius, and we're just too dumb to work it out.
I've no idea. To be honest, every time I see any of them, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy,
them,
like comedians.
Oh, comedians, right? That's what you meant.
Oh, I can't pick one of you from a lineup.
So they all look the same, is what you're saying? Hastily moving on.
In a really awkward area. It's not what I meant.
I would just like to point out that the comments of Brad Duence are not those of Alister Lockhart or the SAE or any of the fine people that they employ. Also in the news, Michelle Rodriguez nude selfies.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. So, the hot Latino actress who recently came out of the closet with a lovely girlfriend whose name is Delvine... I'm sorry, I don't have it written down here.
Some goth chick.
Anyway, she's posted snaps of herself doing nude yoga online. Now, I'm just going to give the listeners a couple of seconds to type that in Google image search. There you go.
Yeah, you can't see much.
Yeah, it's somewhat disappointed, because so was I. That's not a news item as such, I just thought I'd mention it. Yes, she also took a picture of herself while they were scuba diving, and she posted it with the words, "Darling, it's better down where it's wetter, take it from me."
God.
So, do you know which Disney song is the deepest one? Under the Sea. Hey.
Hey.
So Rodriguez, who's a star of Girl Fright, the Resident Evil series, and Avatar, is known for playing the tough chick with a chip on her shoulder character, or, as casting agents know it, doomed lesbian. Also in the news, TMZ.com are a pack of racist shitbags.
Yeah.
TMZ.com reports that Lindsay Lohan is back in court, and, in an impossibly tasteless exclusive, the superficial online bumrag reports a nanny sued Lindsay, claiming she was pushing a baby stroller in West Hollywood when Lilo recklessly drove her Maserati smack into her. But she just folded like the cheap suits she takes to the dry cleaners. Nubia Del Carmen.
Am I the only one hearing those?
Yeah, Nubia Del Carmen Preza filed the lawsuit back in 2012 for personal injuries. The baby was not hurt, but the case lingered on and the nanny just threw in the towel that she uses to clean the kitchen. This writing is astonishing.
Is that not your writing?
No, this isn't me, for Christ's sake.
Wow.
I would like to point this out again. This is from TMZ.
You should get
this
a job
is not
at TMZ.
Me. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, I could learn a thing or two from this guy. Anyway, moving on. So the TMZ, the idiot continues. The nanny has now dropped the lawsuit altogether. And sources tell us the nanny didn't get anything. Not even 99 cents that she could use at a discount store.
That's more applause than the story actually needs.
Oh, I don't know. That's
Pretty snappy writing, that is.
Oh, yeah, that's just astonishing. So, when asked to comment on the blatantly racist tone of the article, a spokesman for TMZ, Archer Tagnut, today told Movie Groove, Mexicans are stupid funny. They eat tacos and burritos. Touche, TMZ. Touche.
Oh my god.
Comment is a fictional elaboration and did not actually happen.
Oh. Shame. What I totally expected.
I'm having a great time. How about you?
I'm always having fun.
Oh, I'm glad. That makes me glad. Weekend box office news. Weekend openers Pompeii and 3 Days to Kill have sunk beneath the waves at the box office. Yeah. No, I did write that. I'm really sorry.
I knew it was in there.
Pompeii in particular doing an abysmal 10 million. It's a Paul W.S. Anderson movie. What did you expect?
Oh. Does
despite...
it star Mila Jovovich?
No. As a surprise, he hasn't yet again cast his ridiculously hot wife, so to show off the fact that he's got a ridiculously hot wife. Anyway, it only took 10 mil, despite his on-paper winning combination of recycled plots from both Gladiator and Titanic, plus a volcano, which looked like a dead cert box office gold in the minds of bloated, coke-addled narcissists with skin the colour of a chicken tandoori. On the other hand, the Lego movie continues to break arse. Come on. Easily dominating ticket sales in its third week of release. The Lego Movie 2 has already been announced, and makers of the original, Aussie production house Animal Logic, are already hot favourites for the sequel.
Really? Good.
Yeah, which already promises to be just as good and not, as is usually the case, a hastily conceived and overproduced facsimile and a massively disappointing turd. I'm looking at you, Shrek. Plus, also shooting in Australia is the Crow and Dark City director Alex Proyas's new CG-heavy fantasy flick, Gods of Egypt. So,
that doesn't sound anywhere near as good as what I want it to be.
Yeah, well, it's a fantasy thing that all takes place where the gods are real, and I don't have the details here. Look it up. Why do I have to do everything for you, you people? So all this is good news for Australian CG artists who will no doubt welcome the break from blowing homeless guys for food scraps behind the Circle K.
It's a legitimate line of work.
It certainly is. Anyway, that's the news hope for you this week. And remember, when it comes to movie news, this source will be with you, always.
God. Let's go to some music.
That's James Blunt.
That was nice.
With Bonfire Heart. I have more James Blunt here, and I will play it if you don't start tweeting. You're listening to Movie Groove. It's what's on screen. This is Energy Groove Radio. We're transmitting live from Sydney City and all around the world. I'm Alister Lockhart, and sitting in the chair next to me is Brad Duence. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, I'm going to give you an applause again.
Thank you. You're too much, really.
It makes my heart feel good. Anyway, next on the show, we've got, we're going to have a look at what's opening up in theatres around the world and in Australia as well. This is the bit that we call Opening scene. I don't have a sting for that, so I'm just...
So you're just reusing old ones?
Yeah, I'm just using old ones. There's only so much space here for... Anyway.
What's coming up? It's very exciting.
In opening scene this week, we've got a good movie opening up today because, it's the end of February. There's really not much happening in the cinemas. But this week, opening up is The Wind Rises, the new and apparently final film from Japanese animation master Hayao... I don't know.
Is he the guy that did Spirited Away?
Miyazaki, yes. The Spirited Away guy, which details the life and works of Jiro Horikoshi, the man who invented the Japanese Mitsubishi AM-6 Zero, the fighter plane that led the attacks on Pearl Harbor in 1939. It's a romantic fantasy. It details the events in Japan's history leading up to the Second World War, the devastating Tokyo earthquake, the Depression, the rise of fascism, and of course the bomb. Early reviews indicate that if you're a Studio Ghibli fan, then there's a lot to love in this one. Although if you're more a fan of the Michael Bay take on the history, the doctor said that you're to stay in the straps until after your meds. Are you going to plan to see that one?
I'll probably end up seeing it. I don't know about I'll go to the cinema to see it, but...
I can only recommend... I mean, I don't know what the movie's like, but people who have seen it are already saying that it's his best work. If it's better than everything else that he's done, then I'm going to get along and see this on the big screen.
The only other work I've seen of his is Spirited Away.
Yeah. Well,
that was great.
If you haven't seen Miyazaki on the big screen, you need to get your arse into a cinema and check it out, because there's no better way to see it. I saw Princess Mononoke on the big screen, and the difference between that and the small screen is just astonishing.
Okay.
Anyway, opening as well, we have Son of God. The latest cut of the story of Jesus opened this week in the States. We're going to be waiting until I think about April here in Australia.
Is this the start of the Easter?
This is the Easter biblical films this week. Films for the faithful. That's a good one for the faithful, as we said. We previewed the movie in full on last week's show. Look for Movie Groove on YouTube for the podcast. In other news concerning Christ the Redeemer, apparently his manager and father has the prophet's much-anticipated second tour slated for, and I quote, the very near future, although no firm date has been fixed. No man knows the hour, say the deity's publicist, although it does seem certain that when the tour does kick off, we here in Australia will, as usual, have to wait 3 months longer than everyone else. As per usual, despite God himself refusing to comment, his public relations team won't shut up. Seriously, they've been coming to my house. You know? It's Saturday morning. You open the door, a big cloud of love stank wafts out, and they breathe it in through their nose, and then they just grin and ask if you want to talk about Jesus. No, I don't want to talk about Jesus. I'm wearing a towel, but my hair's dry, and I smell like a mackerel in honey. Figure this out. I'm sorry, that was a very vivid image.
It really was. I think I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Mission accomplished. Played for and got. Yes. Mother's Little Helper's going to get a good long workout after seeing Non-Stop. The new high-pressure actioner starring smouldering 62-year-old Liam Neeson, which hits screens this week, promising yet another rehash of Die Hard set on a plane.
Why do I want to see this so badly?
Liam Neeson?
No.
Oh, no, he's good.
Yeah, well, it's Liam Neeson because he's kind of like, he kind of like...
Is it because of the rumors?
What rumors?
The rumors say that Liam infamously has the largest.
Oh. Really?
The largest in Hollywood.
No.
Oh, yes.
I've not heard these rumors.
There's a whole website dedicated. I'm quite serious. Check this out online, people. There's a website called NeesonCock.com where you can log on and read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jokes that start with the words Liam Neeson's cock is so big. So,
wow.
For instance, should I be saying that word on radio?
What?
Cock.
Oh.
I've said it 3 times now.
You've said it enough.
Said it. So, so that such beauties as like Liam Neeson's is so big that God sometimes looks up at it and wonders if there's more.
No, because it looked dumb and fun.
Yeah, okay. It does, and it's got Julianne Moore in it, and she's always awesome. Anyway, Liam Neeson is an air marshal who's been texted by an unseen hijacker who demands money, or he'll start killing passengers. This turns out to be a red herring. That's not a spoiler, it's in the trailer, unless you haven't seen the trailer, in which case it is a spoiler. So don't watch the trailer, or listen to what I just said, except for the bit about not watching the trailer. Here's the trailer.
I hate flying. The lines, the crowds, the delays.
I always kind of liked it. 6 hours. One seat, nobody can get to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our non-stop service from New York to London.
You fly much?
All the time, actually. Someone on this flight is threatening to kill someone every 20 minutes unless $150 million is transferred to this account number. Ladies and gentlemen, I need every passenger to raise their hands above their head.
This is a bad idea.
Marshal, we have a right to know what the hell is going.
Agent Marks, the account number you gave us is in your name.
What? That doesn't make any sense. This is a setup. Something else is going on.
Ooh. Jinx. So yeah, there's an excerpt from the trailer, and soon authorities are blaming Liam, and it's a race against the clock as he attempts to discover the identity of the hijacker before the audience does. My money's on the audience.
Kind of reminiscent of that Jodie Foster one where it was kind of like, no, it's you.
It's kind of reminiscent about that 20 other movies that are like this.
Yeah. Good point.
It's the plot of Die Hard. Oh, we're terrorists and we're hijacking the place. No, we're not. Yoink. So anyway, there's only been about 20 of these, so we may get lucky. And remember, this one is the one that didn't suck worse than a Kiss tribute act.
Although I did see point noted, yeah, with the Kiss.
Yeah. Oh well, seriously,
but,
if you've been listening to a lot of Kiss recently, either your taste in music is appalling, or you're a prisoner at Guantanamo Bay. Just don't do it to yourself. Just tell them what they want to know, for pity's sake.
What I didn't like about this trailer, though, was that when there was some sort of texting happening, we had little chat bubbles popping up, like physically on screen. I don't appreciate that.
Modern filmmaking.
I don't like that.
It's meta. I know. One day, 20 years now, we're going to look back and go like, oh, people back then were so stupid. Anyway, that, my friends, is all for this week. And remember, it's always darkest before the opening scene. George Michael.
Ooh,
You still got it.
that was sexy.
I thought so. I'm aroused. Are you aroused?
Always.
Aroused but comfortable.
How's but comfortable?
Well, every now and again we like to take a look at the latest casting news from Hollywood and plaintively beg casting agents everywhere to consider anyone but Affleck. That works.
Certainly does. That's very apt.
So, Michael B. Jordan. He clearly enjoyed being a superhero in Chronicle, because not only has he been cast as Johnny Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot, but he's also been tapped to play half-machine, half-brother, Cyborg, in the new Batman vs. Superman movie. Are you excited about this?
No.
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 Oh, well.
Is this the basketballer?
No. That's Michael Jordan. This is Michael B. Jordan. He was in The Wire.
Oh, that
Did
guy.
you ever see that? Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Oh, well, look, the Wire fans, they have a crossover, don't they? The Wire fans would love Batman, surely.
I don't know, but anyway, he's a great actor though. He's definitely got it, whatever it is. Anyway, the film looks more and more like just being a Justin League movie, the one that we've been waiting for all this time. Unfortunately, still no word on whether the Kickstarter for Affleck's assassination has got up. But hopefully, if it pays out, they can recast the role of Batman with someone who doesn't have a head like a hand model's thumb in a wig. I don't know. Seriously, Affleck. He just, he's all haircut and chin. If you take the haircut away, what have you got?
Not much. No.
So,
the last movie I think I saw him in was Paycheck.
I'm sorry, DC Comics, you've messed up Royal again. And Paycheck, yeah, there was an aptly named movie. Also, check this out. In Star Wars casting news, Adam Driver, who plays Leah Dunham's arsehole boyfriend in Girls.
Oh, I hate that guy, the guy with the nose.
That's him.
No.
He's been chosen to play the main villain in the upcoming Star Wars Episode 7.
At least they won't need to put makeup on him.
Yes, Darth Schnoz, we meet again. So, yeah, we're all hoping fairly vainly that will be a better cinematic experience than the last three, although, frankly, that's a long list. The next item up would be getting felt up in the dark by an old man while watching Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Anyway, others being considered for the role of Darth John Doe are Super Schlong Michael Fassbender. He's another one. See Shame, Schlonger fans, you're going to love it. And professional scenery cheer Hugo Weaving. But as usual, director J.J. Abrams is being so irritatingly coy about the details that it's nearly impossible even to say his name without snapping off one of your own fingers.
Yeah, he is irritating like that. But Hugo Weaving would be amazing. He's always good at it as a villain.
Yeah, I know. But he's got that face. You know, it looks like it collects in the center, and it's got so much movement. It's amazing.
It's really rubbery. It's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, principal photography begins on the project soon, so stay tuned to Movie Groove for more casting news in coming weeks, or log on to Ain't It Cool News, that's where I'm getting it. Yes, sorry. This is a professional outfit. I'm a journalist now. Hi, Mum. Bryan Cranston.
He's a big name.
Oh, he's a big name. Star-making turn in Breaking Bad. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, fix that. He's been cast in documentarian Errol Morris's first fictional narrative, Holland, Michigan, along with Aussie stunner Naomi Watts. Watts plays a woman who deduces that her secretive and distant husband must be having an affair, and so enters into an affair of her own to get some penis-based payback. However, it transpires that hubby was actually a serial killer all along and seeks to address her infidelity, presumably by committing a far more serious breach of his vows. Yeah. So, Errol Morris...
Either way, her marriage was a bit...
Yeah, I know.
Bit
Either way,
shit.
it was life on the skids. Okay, this is far worse than I thought. I should have left. I
Yeah.
just should have left,
Yeah.
really. Haha, I'm having an affair. Really? Swing? Oh, God.
That was a knife sound.
That was a knife, not a... Yeah. Errol Morris is the documentarian behind documentaries such as 1988's The Thin Blue Line and 2003's Dynamite, The Fog of War. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, Bob McNamara, the guy who he did the numbers, he did the logistics on the firebombing of Japan before they dropped the two. Because everybody knows about the two bombs they dropped, but nobody knows that they did a massive firebombing campaign beforehand. And they, Japan cities were all made of wood. So we're talking major cities the size of Sydney and above, 20 to 90% of them just destroyed by fire, and then they dropped the bombs. And he did the logistics on it. And then he was Kennedy and later on Lyndon B. Johnson's Secretary of Defense, and he's actually on camera just talking very candidly about all that stuff, and actually admits in the documentary, if America had lost the war, then he and Curtis LeMay, the guy who ran the bombing campaign, General Curtis LeMay, they both would have been tried as war criminals, and he admits that on camera.
Jeez.
It's an astonishing watch. Go and see The Fog of War. Get The Fog of War out and watch it. It's just astonishing.
Very brave man to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep it light.
That's a bit heavy.
And yet another hotly anticipated remake. The news is that former Home and Away alumnus Luke Bracey will play Johnny Utah, the role that Keanu Reeves made famously one-note and dull in the intensely stupid 1991 action flick Point Break with Patrick Swayze and Gary Busey. I'm Gary Busey and I'm completely insane. That guy's nuts.
I have no idea who that is. But...
Yeah, you don't know Gary. He was in Lethal Weapon. He was the blonde guy in Lethal Weapon.
Nope.
Okay, Bracey's career...
There's the age gap.
Yeah, there you go. Bracey's... Hey. We said we weren't going to discuss that on air. Young person. Bracey's career has taken off since leaving the long-running Aussie soap to pursue his career in Hollywood, because he's been in a G.I. Joe movie.
Ooh.
So taken off in a strictly comparative sense. Take Kate Ritchie, for example.
That's your career.
That's my new favourite.
I remember when she was hosting that dating show on Channel 10.
That dating show, I believe that was the actual title.
I think that was.
Yeah. But anyway...
So what's this guy doing?
He's in the remake of Point Break. He's playing the... did you see Point Break?
No.
With Keanu Reeves?
No.
Yeah, no, again, it's a 1991 movie, so, yeah. You wouldn't have been allowed to watch it when it first came out.
No, I would
Because
have
you were
been
just a
3.
kiddie. Yeah, 3, okay. God, I'm old. The remake also stars Gerard Butler stepping into the role oh so memorably played by the late great Patrick Swayze, although no word on which grinning brain-fried basket case will fill Gary Busey's shoes as yet. Maybe Nicolas Cage is free.
Maybe. He seems to be the one for that.
He's
basically.
definitely, he's the one we're thinking of. Come on, Hollywood, get it right. Anyway, that's all for anybody but Affleck. Until next week, it's been fun.
Ugh, you did not just do that.
did. Haircut 100.
Great name for a band.
Oh, yeah. That's music from my generation, as my wife would say. Cheeky cow. She did. She has that. Oh, is that music from your generation? You cheeky... Oh. Oh. Talk to your husband like that.
How
love,
rude.
love, honor, and obey. You said. You said the word obey.
They've
Well,
changed
he's-
that now.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, that was the thing, is that she was expecting the translation, because it was in Armenian.
Oh.
We had an Armenian ceremony, and it was, so they gave her a translation that said love, honor, cherish, and then in the church, the guy said, will you love, honor, and obey? And she went like, I do. I was like, hey, make me tea.
You're lovely.
She's lovely, really. She puts up with me. Don't you wish you were her, listeners? Anyway, you'll never believe this. We got a tweet from a listener of ours.
God forbid.
Ian Pumpkin is. He wants to know what we think of the Godzilla remake.
Well, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet either. But
I have seen the trailer though, and it looks very exciting.
yeah, it does. Like there's a new trailer out just the last couple of days, and
Oh, is there a new one?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Oh.
It looks like they may have done it right. I mean, they couldn't do worse than the last one. But
No.
we do have a bit about that coming up in just a moment.
Good.
So if you stay with us, you're on Movie Groove. It's what's on screen. We're transmitting live from Sydney and all across the world on Energy Groove Radio. I'm Alister Lockhart, sitting in the chair. Brad Duence.
That insinuates you're not sitting in the chair.
What? No, you're sitting in the chair. I'm sitting in a chair. So I'm going to say that again. Brad Duence.
Ah, thank you. I need that on a recording that I can just play whenever.
And Alice Lockhart. I just like pressing these buttons.
Every time I enter a room, I want that.
Anyway, my goodness me, is that Charlize Theron? Cans.
That is awful.
That is
Oh,
terrible.
God.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. If you're out there listening, Charlize, I love you.
She is good.
She is good. Anyway, each week we breach the veil between worlds as we look at events of the future in theaters across the globe through the terrifying wormhole of the event horizon.
Really didn't bother to get any more sounds.
These
did you?
take ages to make. They take ages. Sitting at home with my copy of Audition.
Well, you didn't make the bloody sounds. George Lucas did.
Shush! We'll get sued. Bloody hell, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, I just credited him.
I could turn your microphone off.
You can.
Anyway. A new trailer for a horror flick, The Sacrament, has hit the net this week, a fictional docudrama based heavily on the infamous Jonestown Massacre of 1978.
Ooh.
When deranged Christian cult leader Jim Jones convinced nearly 900 followers to drink poison Kool-Aid because the feds were closing in. Proving yet again that you can achieve anything if you just believe in yourself. Director Eli Roth, who looks like a cross between
Oh, no.
who looks like a cross between Borat and the guy who plays Spock now, had been touring the film on the festival circuit ahead of its theatrical release, and it looks to be just as understated and subtly unnerving as Roth's previous movies, such as Hostel and Hostel 2.
And Piranha.
Don't you want family? I'm sorry.
Hostel Teil 2.
Please, stop my boy.
Ooh, chilling. See, it just has that creeping sense of uneasiness about it. It's very moody, very atmospheric, very subtle.
Yeah.
I'll see, I fast-forwarded through Hostel 2, and I'm just like, everything I saw just, am I getting too old? Everything in here is, like, morally repugnant.
Yeah.
It's snuff porn.
It kind of is.
It was like, do you remember, did you watch Roseanne when you were a kid? That TV show? Right, I'll say one of the girls had a lovely little friend called, I think her name was Heather. She was like this hopeless kind of nerd girl. And so I flicked forward through it, and she's hanging butt naked from the ceiling,
Oh, yes.
while a woman below is in a bathtub beneath her, just slicing her with his long knife and bathing in her blood. It's snuff porn,
It's
man.
disgusting.
It's, dearie me, I am getting old. Like,
I never liked the Hostel series, but Eli Roth did Cabin Fever, which I thought was mildly entertaining.
you children, it's no wonder the crime rate is so high.
Well,
Bars on the windows of my shop because of you people. Anyway, a movie that Hollywood has been trying to get up for years now. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. finally has a release date and will be hitting theaters in January 2015. Based on a TV show of the same name, the story follows two rival Cold War agents who put aside their differences to stop an evil conglomerate from taking on the world. It had Robert Vaughn as Napoleon Solo. Come on. Napoleon Solo. Man, so cool he can make a Lamborghini blush, baby. Wow. And Ilya Kuryakin, played by David McCallum, who's Scottish.
Good.
Yeah. The new film stars Man of Steel Henry Cavill and your favourite actor, Lone Ranger Armie Hammer, and is directed by Madonna's ex-wife, Guy Ritchie. Oh, hang on. Ex-wife. No, that's correct. Madonna's ex-wife, Guy Ritchie, the man who gave us the Sherlock Holmes movies. So, if he sticks as close to the source material as he did with those films, then this take on the smash hit show of the 60s will no doubt feature two rival Cold War agents who put aside old rivalries to fight an alien zombie monster invasion by flying on the backs of sentient steampunk dragons. And next we have Transformers, Age of Extinction. Yes, Michael Bay will be gracing the screen with yet another of his epic masterpieces about fantastical robots from another world who have travelled to ours in the hope of quelling an interstellar war, which threatens to engulf the fragile Earth in fire and chaos. And in a Movie Groove exclusive, we have an early cut of the teaser trailer. Check this out.
All hands to combat!
What? No!
What do you think?
Better than the other movies.
No. That's a 15-second clip. That's better than all three movies combined. That was more fun to make than the movies were to watch.
Oh, God.
Oh, I enjoyed that. I'm not going to play that again, I promise.
But,
yeah.
So, who's penned to be in it this time?
Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
No.
The film stars...
Why is he still in movies?
I don't know. The film stars Mark Wahlberg as a human of some kind. Possibly.
What about that Josh guy? Josh Duhamel? Fergie's husband?
No,
or
I
something?
don't know.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf is not in it. Shia LaBeouf is getting crazier and crazier by the day. Have you seen
weird.
his art installation, which features himself with a paper bag over his head,
Yeah.
and people would just go in and abuse him, and he just sits there and says nothing. And like this one photographer went in and got him to take the bag off and took a photo of him, and he looked like he'd been crying for a really, really long time. So he's not enjoying himself under there. The film stars Mark Wahlberg as a human of some kind. This from IMDb. A mechanic and his daughter make a discovery that brings down Autobots and Decepticons, and a paranoid government official on them. So not so much more of the same, than somehow less.
Yeah.
So
if Shia LaBeouf's not in it, that means his parents aren't going to be in it, and they were possibly the best bit of the movie.
Yeah.
His parents were slightly funny.
Yeah, maybe they were directed by a second unit director. Images of 3 of the robot characters have emerged online in keychain form. I would publish a link, but if you care at all, you probably only get to use a computer as a human test subject for a program that hopes to teach chimpanzees how to use a knife and fork. Bay's previous film, Pain and Gain, based on the hilarious true story of a trio of bodybuilders who embezzle money from an obnoxious billionaire. It's a wacky comedy sex romp featuring drug abuse, torture, attempted murder, and Bay's trademark racism, sexism, and utter lack of restraint. Yeah, basically it's the cinematic equivalent of taking a phone snap of a mentally retarded man trying to drown an expensive dog in a puddle.
I've seen way too many
and
of those.
then posting the shot on Instagram under the title, "It's funny because it's true."
God.
Don't go and see Pain and Gain.
Yeah?
You're wasting your life. I think in style he was kind of aiming for a Coen Brothers movie. You know the Coen Brothers? They do,
They do Fargo. They do great films.
It's a similar thing to Fargo, only done in a Michael Bay style. So just ham-fisted, over the top, in your face, heavy-handed in every way possible crap.
God.
And just,
Have you seen special features of any Transformers films and seen Michael Bay at work?
No.
He
No.
looks like such a psychopath. Workplace psychopath.
Yeah. Michael Bay. He may be with us for a long, long time. Anyway, Paramount are straining to squeeze out Transformers Age of Extinction as we speak, and the film is set to splash down in July of this year.
Hooray.
Moving on. How to Train Your Dragon 2. The sequel to one of DreamWorks' real worthies, How to Train Your Dragon 2, follows hero Hiccup and his trusty steed Toothless as they head out on another adventure to promote peace and understanding between men and dragons. Now, despite featuring a world where kids with American accents grow into adults with a broad Scots brogue, and the protagonist with a voice that sounds like an angry goose trapped in a plastic pipe, the original Dragon was smart, funny and touching, but so was the same studio's action-packed comedy masterwork, Kung Fu Panda. So, considering what a letdown the overblown mess of a sequel was, this one should be approached with very cautious optimism on Pirate Bay. Ahead of release, How to Train Your Dragon 3 has already been greenlit. Now, that is not a good sign, because this will almost certainly have been decided on the basis of a stronger than expected market reaction to number 2's imminent release, and not on the basis that it's even a halfway good film, which makes me suspect, unfortunately, that the law of diminishing returns may kick in nice and early on this one, Shrek style. Sorry to be pessimistic, but hey, what's my name? That's all for this week in Event Horizon. We now return you to your regular scheduled reality. That was the Kings of Leon. They're having a beautiful war.
Oh, that's nice.
And above that was Robin Thicke.
Who is now separated officially from his wife.
Yes, poor old Robin separated from his wife.
What, 25 years or something?
Yeah, who knew that it wasn't going to last?
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I saw that video and I thought, no, there's a man committed to his marriage.
Whatever happened to the sanctity of marriage?
Yeah, I'm going to stop commenting because we're going to end up, controversial. And, the listeners continue to not tweet us. But we do have another couple of followers, so...
That's a bit exciting.
But yeah, another couple of followers. Let me just open up the Twitter feed here and
Welcome.
see what we've got here. Welcome to you, all you lovely, lovely followers out there.
Let's read out their profile.
I can't get enough yes and give their home addresses.
Who have they been tweeting?
We've got Marnie Nubia. And she says something in French, and I can't read French,
that's
although
a shame.
She does say that she's 13 years old. So,
Nestle.
That's a very nice photograph, Marnie. A very, very nice photograph.
French, right?
Yes. No. So, mes
Voulez-vous
français...
coucher à
No. She's 13. 13, dude. So, yeah, mes français, c'est
What did I say then?
C'est très, très pauvre. Je suis désolé.
Les fouf.
So, and Tristan, who's also listening. Hello, Tristan, to you out there. He's my 8th biggest fan.
Oh, good.
My cousin started following us the other day, and he did send a message saying that he only opened the Twitter account to test an app that he was writing. Oh. So thanks for that, John.
Brilliant.
I love you too, cuz.
Social media, it's amazing.
I love you, man. Anyway, back to the show. We're going to do the Geekly Roundup, and wouldn't you know it?
I think I know what's coming up.
Oh, do you really?
I think I do.
Okay, so in a semi-regular segment, we like to look at all the things that make the geek clique click. Sorry, I'm doing this from memory. I don't actually have it written down. Anyway, this is the Geekly Roundup.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in a V club and Glee club and even the chess team. Nerdy.
I was not expecting that. I take that back.
I could still surprise you. Anyway, in the Geekly Roundup this week, the Fantastic Four has been cast, and by the looks of things, this time we are getting the Fantastic Four movie we always dreamed of, if it was one of those dreams where you wake up screaming. In the role of the eternal paternal leader, Mr. Fantastic is a less macho Woody the Cowboy. Not a blonde girl as Sue Storm. She is white, but her brother Johnny Storm is now black, so Mama Storm's backstory may be somewhat off canon. That's
something for the Christmas table discussion.
Yes, that's Michael B. Jordan again.
No, I'm getting really confused though. That excuse me, I'm not a
again with the
comic
racism.
book.
What's wrong with setting a black man on fire? Why can't a black man also burst into flames? What is wrong with you?
I'm now you're making me awkward.
I'm sorry.
What was I saying? Fantastic Four. Haven't we had that movie already?
Twice. But
Twice.
they're rebooting it because they were rubbish. They had Chiklis in it. Michael
So
Chiklis.
they just keep trying.
Did you see The Badge? Awful cop show with... well, actually, apparently it was a really, really
I think there was one called The Badge.
The Badge, that was it. And Chiklis was in it. You know, the main guy with the bald head and the big chest.
Drawing a blank.
Anyway, he was wearing a big rubbery suit because he was the thing. You know the guy that's made of big orange bricks? The character, he's like the Hulk, except he's made of orange, kind of a rocky texture on him. The Fantastic Four. He's called the Thing.
Oh.
Ben Grimm, otherwise known as the Thing. Anyway.
What was the point? Yeah, so they just keep trying until they make a good one. Is that it?
Apparently so. Well, again, the grandfather clause. They have to keep making these movies or the rights revert back to Disney/Marvel. So they're holding on to that property as long as people keep going to see it.
And
so,
raping it.
Well, yeah, apparently, because they've got some child with a plastic mask on as Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic is supposed to be a middle-aged man. I mean, he has like that white shock of hair at the side of his head to make him look distinguished.
Sure.
And in the movies, they always just get some kid and then paint white on the side of his hair, and it just looks stupid. It looks like, some 14-year-old trying to play a 40-year-old in a school play.
Yeah, but who wants to look at a 40-year-old?
I do.
That was rude. I didn't mean it like that.
Anyway, the Thing is being played this time by Billy Elliot. So once again, instead of sticking to the elements that make the property so successful, they're reimagining it as something that nobody with an IQ higher than 4 will actually want to see. So at least it will get seen by the marketing staff.
That's being said a lot lately, isn't it? Reimagining.
Reimagining, yeah. It means buggering up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as one of our listeners asked, Liam, if you're out there, man.
Hello, Liam.
Thank you for being the only person who has actually tweeted this week. I love you, man. I love you more than you know. Godzilla. Oh, new trailer hit this week, and it's a beauty. The forward promo for the upcoming Godzilla is setting geeks worldwide aflame by appearing to not only be good, but pretty damn awesome. A characteristic that ought to set it clearly apart from the 1999 version.
Lack of Matthew Broderick.
A multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art CGI-heavy blockbuster that managed to be nerve-janglingly unrestrained and stupid, yet at the same time as dull as watching concrete exist. The film stars Kick-Ass star Aaron Taylor Thingy, Breaking Baddie Bryan Cranston, and Ken Watanabe is saying the role of the Japanese guy. So be looking out for that one. It does look cool. You've seen the trailer with the people dropping out of the sky. And
yes, I've seen the first trailer. Haven't seen the second one. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see it now.
So, they look like they've done it properly. Godzilla's the correct size and everything. So, big smashy buildings.
Yes.
And he's got to make that noise as well.
I wonder if they'll have the little babies in it like they did with the first one.
No.
No? Because it went a little bit Jurassic Park then.
Yeah.
that
Well,
point in
they
that
had
film.
to. They had to. They were going like, Jurassic Park, check this out. Ours is bigger. Uh-oh, wait, we need lots of small ones. So awful.
It was an awful film. And then they got all the fish to feed him.
You see, now there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember about it because I only saw it once.
Oh, really? I've seen it a few times. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know.
Life is finite, Bradley.
I know.
We passed this way but once, and you're wasting hours of your life watching this. Oh, I'm getting really angry now. I'm sorry. I gotta have a drink of water. Moving on. Console Wars. Check this one out, geekles. A new project headed up by stoner god Seth Rogen will be based on the video game console wars of the late 80s and early 90s. Now, this is from Papa Vineyard on Ain't It Cool News. After the video game industry imploded in the early to mid-80s, Atari was all but out of the console game, and Nintendo swooped in and cornered the market by pumping up their brand with tightly wrapped exclusivity rights and titles featuring Mario, Donkey Kong, and Zelda. Because, anybody could make an Atari cartridge. So there was some awful, awful, awful games.
Oh, terrible games.
There was one called, was it called Custer? Where it was just this horrible game where the idea was there was an Indian girl tied to a pole and you had to run the gauntlet of arrows across the screen and I'm sorry about this, listeners, but this is the truth, rape her.
Dear.
Repeatedly rape her while, dodging arrows. That was the game. One screen, run back and forth, dodge the arrows, rape the girl. That was the game.
There were a few awkward games on the Atari.
So that was actually...
There was a simulator of sexual acts as well.
Yeah. Oh, I saw one called Stroker.
That's probably it.
Guess what that was about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had to keep an even... It was like one of those sport games where you had to keep your pace even.
All about the pace.
Yeah. So, and of course, eventually get to the finish line, so to speak. Anyway, Nintendo ended up dominating the market for a while. Remember hearing people like all video games were referred to as Nintendos?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how much they dominated the market. And anyway, by the end of the decade, there was the 8-bit NES, followed up by the Super NES and the 16-bit Sega Genesis. So if that's a time that you remember, then you'll enjoy the idea of Seth Rogen Evan Goldberg tackling the Sega versus Nintendo melee in an adaptation of Blake Harris's book Console Wars, Sega, Nintendo, and the Battle That Defined a Generation. What mighty corporate behemoths grow out of nothing more than the natural proclivity of the humble nerd to avoid beatings from jock douchebags by hiding indoors and needing something to do other than jerking off. In other news, also in the Geekly Roundup, Green Goblin in the new Spidey looks shit. That's all I've got for this one.
Oh.
Yeah, they've released pictures of something online. Do you remember Sting and David Lynch's Dune? If you remember what he
I didn't watch Dune. I have bought it.
Yes, he's Brad has acquired an evaluation copy of that film, and he'll be sending a check to David Lynch anytime soon.
Sorry, David Lynch.
So yeah, he looks like Sting's character in David Lynch's Dune. So it's not good. It's another misfire. I don't
That's
know.
a shame.
They have lots of money. Why don't they? I don't know. Anyway, in news for Brit Geeks, Carl Urban has been talking about a sequel to the underrated 2012 sci-fi action flick Dread. The film was poorly received in the box office, but got a strong run on DVD, which has piqued the interest of studio scumbags. So we may just be seeing Dread's permanently set jawline take on megacity scum once again, which is a good thing because I was a big fan of Dread when I was a kid.
Are we talking Judge Dredd? What are we talking about?
Judge Dredd. So you'll remember that back in the day there was I think in 1995 there was a genuinely woeful attempt to bring the comic character to the screen by Stallone.
Possibly. I think that's probably where I know him from.
With, what's his name? Rob Schneider. That's right.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Why hasn't somebody drowned him in a puddle yet?
I don't know.
It's weird.